29-week update. I'm 29 weeks and 4 days today. Not a lot has changed baby-wise. The main thing that happened is we had our scan, our private 4D scan on Saturday. It went okay, not amazingly well. Baby wasn't being very cooperative. He was all tucked up, legs over his head, hands by his face. He had his umbilical cord in his face, so it was quite hard for us to get some decent pictures. I mean, we did get some and we did see his face, and I was happy, to be honest, that we had seen him and that, and I knew that it was going to be a little bit risky. I mean, it's always going to be risky whatever time you do it, sort of thing. But luckily the technician guy that we had, he was really nice, he was really friendly, and towards the end he was like, you know what, let's give it a break, you go drink a fizzy drink, wander around for like 10 minutes and sort of try and get him to move a bit so we could get him, hopefully get, you know, his legs and the umbilical cord out the way. So we walked around for a bit, came back, and he still really wasn't helpful. He was still very squished. To be honest, I think he's just very compact in there, so everything is sort of in his face, so I feel like I just don't know if it's gonna be any different. But basically he rebooked us for this Saturday. Haven't given us any pictures in yet. He saved the ones from last time, and he's basically, we're gonna have another go and see if we can get some better ones, because he was saying that, you know, like, you're pretty skinny and I know this can be better, and I feel like he was disappointed. So he was like, we'll have another go and see if we can try and get some better pictures for you. And obviously if for whatever reason he's worse this week, then we'll just get some of the other ones, which to be honest, I'm not that disappointed about. Like I said, we got to see his face, and he definitely, to me and Liam at least, looks like Isla so much for when she was like born. So yeah, I reckon we just make very similar babies, maybe. I mean, like, obviously you can't fully tell until they're really here, but just from those images, like, he really had her face. We saw him, you know, like, drinking and his mouth opening and his hand moving around his face, and I still thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was still so cute. And we definitely managed to check that he was a boy. He is definitely a boy. It was pretty obvious, his parts. That bit he wasn't, you know, shy about hiding or anything like that. But yeah, so I still enjoyed it. I'm still so glad we got to see him, and it was very kind of the technician, because we're getting it free of charge, and obviously we had to pay, and I was a bit like sceptical when he said, oh, we can come back, and I was like, is there going to be a charge to this? But no, he was really, really friendly. The technician guy is lovely. So hopefully we'll get to see him this weekend, and hopefully it'll be better, and then next week I should be able to show you pictures of him properly, hopefully. Now, I finally got around to going and getting my iron tablets from the pharmacy. Actually, I had to chase them down because, oh yeah, and I also had my, it was the same day I had my glucose test, which I need to ring up about my results actually. But yeah, I did the glucose test last Friday, and on that day I went and got my prescription, which I was told would go to the doctors, but it didn't. It went to the pharmacist nearby, so I went there instead. But on the prescription it just says, take as directed by your midwife. My midwife didn't tell me how many I was supposed to take a day, and I vaguely remember with Isla, I'm pretty sure I took 2 a day. They're only like really tiny. I think they're 210 milligrams or something like that. But because I don't know, I've just been taking 1 a day. I really need to get on and ring them, but I don't really know who to ring because the numbers are all a bit like, I don't have a direct number from my midwife, which really I need, because I need someone who's going to be able to get my results up and tell me exactly. So I don't know whether just to wait until I go and see her, or whether she'll be annoyed with me for waiting. I don't really know. But yeah, I kind of need to try and sort that out, and obviously I need to get my results from my glucose, which I have to ring up for as well. Anyway, moving on to my weight. As you can see by the scales, my weight hasn't really changed. In fact, since last week doing my update, for the most of the week I've been about 8.5, 8.6 sometimes. Obviously today when I did the scales it was 8.6. So I don't think I've really gained anything. I think to be honest, last week was still fluctuating between 8.5 and 8.6, depending on when I've eaten and everything like that. So yeah, I don't think I've gained anything, which I'm not too shocked about, because like I said, I had quite a big growth spurt. I had like 2 weeks where I had 2 pounds, I gained 2 pounds each week. So that's quite a lot for me. So I kind of think, you know, I've had a growth spurt, slowing down a little bit, and I'll probably end up having another one in the next couple of weeks. So it's not too bad, still 17 pounds from the beginning. That's pretty on track really. Moving on to symptoms. The main thing this week is obviously having iron tablets. If any of you guys have had iron tablets, you know that it can change your bowel movements. It's not terrible, I know a lot of people have a lot worse, but it has been a little bit more uncomfortable than normal, and yeah, it's just not very nice either, which I do remember from having Isla, that's what it was like. But yeah, that's sort of pregnancy problem symptom of the week. I've had a few more headaches, and I've had a bit of a stuffy nose, and I've wondered whether I was going to get a cold. Isla's had a bit of a sniffly cold, but it's sort of, it hasn't come out in a full-blown cold, it's just sort of lingered. So I don't know if it's just seasonal or whether pregnancy related, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I've definitely had a lot more headaches this week. I've been thirsty a lot, like really thirsty. I mean, I've been drinking, I have a bottle, it's a 500ml bottle that I take around with me, and I have like literally several of them a day. I've been going through water like no tomorrow. Obviously still needing to pee lots, definitely waking me up in the night needing to go pee. But I've still been having really bad dreams. I know before I was having like vivid dreams, but I've been having sort of bad dreams. And like, you know, where they really, when you wake up, you really still feel the feelings of all of them and stuff. Been having a few nightmares and that, which hasn't really helped me with sleeping. I just don't feel very, like when I sleep, I don't feel like I wake up and feel fully rested. I still feel tired a lot, and I feel like that's only probably going to get worse from now and the end, because I'm only going to get bigger and more uncomfortable. And obviously my pelvic girdle pain thing is still pretty bad and still painful. My appointment for that is next Tuesday, so I should be able to update you guys all about that, my physio appointment next week. But hopefully I'll have learnt something by next week about it. So, cravings. Again, I've never really had, I don't think like through both my pregnancies I've ever had like a craving that's like, oh yeah, must have this all the time. But I feel like it just changes. I just suddenly fancy something and I really want it, and I'll probably have it and then I'll be fine. But yeah, like last night I randomly decided I really fancied milk, but like cereal. So I had a bowl of cereal before I went to bed. And yeah, I've been fancying milk a little bit more. I've been liking my fruit smoothies still though, and still really liking avocado, and still my fresh sort of salad things. Like I really like wraps and sandwiches and bagels and salads and yeah, all fresh food, which is good for the most part because that's not too bad. I still feel like I have bouts of feeling like fancying like, you know, unhealthier things as well, and like chocolate. I will suddenly all of a sudden be like, I need chocolate, I need to eat it, and I'll have some and they'll be fine. I'm not a big chocolate eater, like especially before being pregnant. It would be like rare, or I'd have like 1 or 2 pieces and that's it. Like I'm pretty satisfied. I'm not overly sweet person, but yeah, I've definitely liked it a bit more through even both pregnancies. I know I was a bit like it with Isla, and I wonder if it's partly the iron sort of thing with the craving of it. So I think that's everything. Hopefully, like I said, I'll have pictures to show you next week of the scan and be able to talk about my physio appointment properly. But yeah, it's really scary. We're coming to the end of September already. It's like, it makes it so much more real to think that it's not that long away until, I feel like the October and November are just like the countdown months. Because obviously my due dates are right at the beginning of December, so I'm sort of seeing it as like end of November, beginning of December. So it's like I want to get as much done and prepared Christmas wise, and obviously for him, for baby, in the next 2 months. And we've obviously got Halloween, we've got bonfire night, and I've got some people's birthdays in November, and it's like, oh my gosh, I've got so much, like, I suddenly feel like we're suddenly rushing into autumn, and it feels like it's just come overnight basically. And the weather's definitely starting to change here, which normally I would hate. Like normally I love the heat and I love the sun, but being pregnant in heat is as bad as what people have told me. Like I used to, even when people used to say, oh, you know, you don't want to be pregnant in the summer, I used to be like, really? Like I thought it'd be quite nice, being able to wear flowy dresses and stuff. But no, I have struggled because it's hot and sticky, and I feel like I get hotter than I normally would, but probably because of my circulation, and baby obviously makes me warmer and whatnot. So I actually have been enjoying the sort of colder mornings and looking forward to having like wrapping up and being all cozy and stuff. And I think it's also partly because I know it's the countdown to when baby's here, that's also partly why I'm like sort of more excited for it this year. But yeah, it's all exciting, and then we haven't got very long, so less than 11 weeks. Oh, nearly on the countdown. It'll be 30 weeks next week. We're getting somewhere. Anyway, that's everything, so thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.